Immigrants are stopping reparations.
Nobody gave reparations until the Native Americans and the Mexicans get ours first. We've been going through this crap a lot longer, so I don't want to hear it.
Hey. Why would Mexicans get reparations from the United States of America? If Mexico wanted reparations, they should be getting it from Spain because Spain is their colonizer.
It's not fair, dog. How are you going to give a bunch of money to a specific group, dog? This is the United States, a melting pot. How are you going to give it to a specific group?
Because right now they've got the white people with so much guilt. It was your parents.
Huh? That's sympathetic towards the slave owner's lineage, not the African American lineage, that people that was enslaved. And so you got more sympathy for the slave owner's descendants than you do for the people that was enslaved descendants. Think about what you're saying. You're against reparations because you're saying the white people today, none of my white friends had no slaves. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like that. Not to mention the Japanese got reparations. The Hitler people got reparations. What was it? The Jewish people, major reparations. Cambodians got reparations after the people passed away, their family members.
Well, I heard they passed in North Carolina.
Yes.
But it was a small little town in North Carolina that passed reparations for whoever's over there. I'm sure they'll try to do something out here in California. I think they already actually got a little board going that they're going to start looking into it. So
yeah, and that's what we, the Raza, need to step up, protest, and I'm talking major, and turn around and tell them no.
Yo, I don't know if this is envy. I don't know whether this is jealousy. What I do know is I cannot understand why these Mexicans are this invested in Black Americans' business. Why are they bothered? Why does it hurt them so much that Black Americans are asking for what they are owed? Will Black American reparations even take a single dollar out of their pocket? Brothers and sisters, we need to talk about this. So we've got Black Americans themselves breaking down this, and they said everything that needed to be said. Watch them. We are coming back at the end to give the full analysis. And remember that the video is for educational purpose. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to hit on that like button.
Those Mexicans say that they're going to protest if any type of reparation or restorative justice bill, rights, act, or anything gets passed in the state of California for Black Americans. Did y'all hear that? Because Native Americans and Mexicans been going through this stuff a lot longer. What stuff? What stuff? The fact that these Mexicans are literally trying to sit here and compare anything that they've experienced willingly, being a willing participant, because you are not American. You chose to come over here. You have your whole country, granted it may be run by the cartel, but for you, by you. Literally, a whole country. You decided to come here. And I don't want to hear, oh, the United States used to be Mexican territory. I don't want to hear that. Y'all always want to time travel. At the end of the day, Mexico got paid $15 million for the territories that the United States of America acquired. Y'all never want to bring that up. It was sold. Sold and purchased. No matter which way you want to turn a key, a deal was made. Okay? At the end of the day, present day, you did not build the United States of America. I don't care if you came over here with your taquito truck or whatever. And I love Mexican food. And there's some Latinos that I love. But to sit up here and say that you will protest in the street, and yet these were the same people, and I have multiple videos to prove it. So I don't want y'all to come in. Don't nobody want no help from the blacks. Ain't nobody asking for solidarity. Yes, y'all was. Y'all was literally crying up and down the goddamn TikTok streets because we said that we're going to sit this out and not march and fight and protest for illegal immigration and not help to be a goddamn shield for y'all against the goddamn ice cream truck. Y'all absolutely, I have videos, go down my timeline. Because y'all not going to get up here and gaslight me. I literally just did a video like maybe a couple of weeks ago where a Mexican was saying that we, Black Americans, were protesting for them to get deported. I said, and we were heavily advocating for it, and it was a blatant lie. But this is the type of stuff that they say. That man, them men, those three Chiquitos got up there and said, Native Americans and Mexicans been going through it. First of all, Native Americans already got reparations and some type of restorative justice. They have reservations. They have casinos. They're exempt from paying certain type of taxes. They have funds and resources that's allocated solely and strictly to Native Americans. Not how we got our civil rights and everybody and a funky mother got to tether and latch on to the backs of what we fought for and under the guise of civil rights. Y'all want to try to holler out DEI. DEI benefited the pale Caucasian white lady way more than anybody else. So what have we ever really gotten? And you talking about we've been going through it way longer. What have y'all been going through way longer? Did y'all experience redlining? Did y'all experience brute force and police brutality? Did y'all experience substances being flooded in your neighborhoods? Did y'all experience that? Did y'all experience millions of y'all getting lynched? Did y'all experience y'all's communities being burned to the ground? Did y'all experience y'all churches being burned to the ground? Did y'all experience getting hunted down by a pack of rabid goddamn animals in the street? Did y'all go through Jim Crow? Now y'all trying to call it Juan Crow in 2026. Did y'all go through Jim Crow? No. Latinos actually had an organization called LOLAC where you all were fighting to be recognized as white. And in some cases, you were able to win because people be wondering, where the hell was the Latinos during Jim Crow? In the white soil section with the whites. And the ones who couldn't pass, they came over to our side and we treated them well and accepted them with open arms. And this is how you guys act. Now, could y'all imagine if we got up here and literally said, we are going to protest and fight tooth and nail for anything against any immigrant group in this country? These people should be ashamed of themselves. What the fuck has Black Americans done to Mexicans? It's jealousy and envy. Y'all was able to come over here and have civil liberties and literally tether on to goddamn civil rights and build a family for yourself.
They took it to a whole nother level. It's more than just voicing an opinion like, yeah, I don't think they deserve reparations. They said that they will be actively outside protesting, preventing Black Americans from receiving reparations. Like, that's a whole nother step, right? You don't see, at least I don't see Black Americans hiring undocumented immigrants to do home improvement jobs on their houses, like roofing, going inside doing the floor work or yard work, and then calling ICE on these undocumented immigrants after the work is completed. Black Americans are just staying out the way when it comes to ICE. It's not our problem. Simply is not our problem. And when they talk about they need reparations, well, the natives, the R in reservation stands for reparations. And when it comes to Mexicans, these mestizos, because that's what they are, you need to take up your reparations with the crown of Spain. That's who colonized Mexico. America has nothing to do with owing mestizos, Mexicans, reparations. Right? I know that, you sympathize with y'all colonizers. I mean, because if you think about it, Spanish is not an indigenous language to the Americas, to Mexico. And just like practicing being Catholic is really not an indigenous religion, that all comes because of Spain colonizing, the Americas. So that's where your reparation claim is with Spain. I know a lot of y'all pay homage to Spain because you owe Spain your existence, and y'all pay homage to them, but ask them to pay y'all reparations too. But yeah, there you have it, Black and brown unity.
So let me get this straight. While we're being guilt tripped into protesting against ICE, they're having private meetings talking about protesting against us getting reparations. You speak the language of the person that conquered you, which is the reason why they speak Spanish. Their fight is not with the United States. These folks came here voluntarily for a better life, not because they had to, not because they were forced to, not because they was made to do anything. So there is no reparations talk between Mexico and the United States. It is completely unwarranted. And when we're talking about the Native Americans, the natives that's on this part of the Americas, right? The ones that's up here, they are already getting reparations. They never stopped getting reparations. When have you ever seen a Native American with a job? You know why they don't have a job? Do you know why they don't have to work? You'll never see a Native American with a job? It's because they don't have to work, because they're getting reparations, because they have reparative justice on the reservation or whatever. I was just watching Love Jones live the other day, and one of the callers said that he used to work at a casino, and he said that when the natives turned 18, Oh, they get a nice little $17,000 check from the government. And then when they turn it 21, they get even more money. So they already got their reparations. They good. They don't need nothing else. And the reparations that they did get, to be honest with you, it doesn't really look like it helped them very much as far as their lifestyle, because a lot of them are on drugs and have alcohol issues. And I watched a whole documentary on it. This is just pure jealousy, because at the end of the day, these three dudes that's sitting there talking about protesting against reparations for Black Americans, they don't even want reparations. They just don't want us to have it. So I'm not surprised, but don't talk to me about no more unity bullshit. And you goddamn sure better not talk to me about no ICE protest. Because I say pour some more ice in the water.
Reparations from slavery and Black victimization is about to be shoved down our throats for the most wretched holiday in America. BLM raised millions, but what did they do for Black lives? It is outrageous to see people asking for reparations, even though they never went through slavery. These ungrateful people should be celebrated because they were born in the greatest nation to ever exist. Here's a tip. If you don't like America, find me. Out.
Who the you think you are to tell me to forget what you did to me that affects me right now? My people will perish due to lack of knowledge. So we don't have the knowledge on what was done to us and the long-term effects of what was done to us. And then now it's like, oh, I'm supposed to forget the 400 plus year head start that you got? But you motherfuckers ain't give me reparations.
Okay.
You motherfuckers, let me land this plane.
Okay.
You motherfuckers give me reparations. You motherfuckers passing laws to remove things that we needed because of you was in the way. You want me to forget all the little Black girls and boys that was hit in the head with rocks and stones to go to school, right? And then those little girls and boys that got hit with rocks and stones to go to school had children, and they had to remember, damn, Ma, why you got one eye, Grandma? Well, baby, you know I was trying to get into this school. They knocked your eye out, Grandma. So Grandma got one eye, so I'm supposed to forget those Cyclops Grandma, Cyclops Granny, because white man didn't want Granny to go to school to get an education. There's a societal acceptance of white privilege. All these white motherfuckers benefit from their forefathers. Don't let them fool you.
They're telling you we don't support reparations because it was legal at the time to beat you the way we beat you. And so we don't have to pay for that because it was legal at the time. It was legal to enslave you. It was legal to take your life. I got to be careful how I say this because the algorithms pick up on it. It was legal to make you strange fruit. Let me say it that way. It was legal to violate the men, women, and children. Did y'all think Epstein, like he's like the inventor of something? This is what they would do. See, it was legal, and because all that was legal at the time, we don't owe anything because, hey, it was
American Cholo and these other two weirdos are really sitting here like, we're going to bring all the Mexicans together and protest against Black people getting reparations. They don't deserve it. And then says the reparations has to go to the Native Americans, which already received reparations for nothing because the Native Americans took the Black indigenous American Indians identity, which is my ancestors, and got free reparations for nothing. And then he says next is the Mexicans because they were here longer. You are Spaniard. You're not full Mexican. The real Mexicans are Black indigenous people. You, sir, are Spanish. You have more Spanish blood than you do real Mexican blood. What are you talking about? Reparations for what? This entire land of America was stolen from my ancestors, and then they did a paper genocide and took us off the papers and gave our identity to the Native Americans, who we have pictures of them coming over here on boats. Like, what are you talking about? Reparations are coming from the fact that they stole our land from our ancestors who were already here and then lied and told us we came from Africa. That's where the reparations are coming in at, because this is really our land. But this goes to show you that they don't with us. It's right here. What else do I have to say? But I like that they keep it in real. They telling us how they feel in our face. I like that. I respect that. Because I don't like that sneaky. Tell me how you feel about me up front, up close and personal. And we can deal with it like that. Don't do no sneaky. So I respect them for putting it out there and how they really feel. So now we know how to move accordingly. And I said what I said, though.
Why does everybody have an opinion on what we say and what we do and how we moving? You fucking Mexican, bro. You live right next door to us, bro. You know exactly what we going through, just like the same thing you going through, bro. Why are you against me? I'm struggling out here with you. Now you see me get a plug and I'm trying to do my thing. Why are you hating on me? Why are you going to the motherfuckers that's fucking over both of us and say, nah, don't give it to him, give it to me? You look weak, Mexican people that do that. These three guys. Let me just keep it on these three guys. Why are y'all in your basement talking about black people's business? I don't even know how this came up in y'all conversation. How is three Mexican guys talking about black people want reparations and now I don't think I like that. Now we need to stop that. What made you want to get in that? That seems evil. That seems very wrong. I don't even know what y'all trying to get or how y'all trying to live. But I'm not over here in y'all business saying what y'all should get and shouldn't get. That ain't got nothing to do with me. It has to do with Mexican people and they oppressor. Black people business.
Reparations are not about creating communal abundance. They are about rectifying and repairing the specific harms of slavery and the systems that allowed it. There is only one group whose ancestors were present for everything Debbie and Paige lectures about. The full arc of American chattel slavery, the need to buy and mortgage family members, is a peculiar practice that only happened here. So is the racial terror that followed and the legal exclusion that lasted for generations. This was unique to this soil, and it happened to a specific lineage. It is not everyone's history, and that is why it is not everyone's to claim it. During the draft riots, whose ancestors were here? Who endured the racial climate of that era? Whose ancestors are buried in those historic burial grounds tied to slavery in this city? Definitely not Sheila Jackson Lee's. Her ancestors are buried in the Caribbean, and I would assume in Jamaica. We are the descendants of American freedmen, not people whose families chose to immigrate to America later. So the psychological harms of lynching and racial terror were imprinted on us. Redlining is a form of the badges and incidents of slavery, not a random policy. It was a continuation of the same using new tactics. And before the 1960s, before we fought for equality and in immigration policies, the Afro-immigrant population in the United States was statistically tiny, less than 1% of the black population nationwide. That matters because reparations must be tied to the people who were actually harmed, not to those who arrived after the fight for equality opened the doors. I'm glad General Counsel Attorney Sneed Williams is here. She was present when her husband, Jamani Williams, asked to be included in the claims his ancestors were not present for. That request showed a misunderstanding of constitutional law, and she was also present when Camilla Moore Esquire laid out a constitutional framework in detail. I hope she uses her legal expertise to explain to her husband constitutional law. Dr. Malveaux mentioned the billions of dollars. Meanwhile, this city spent $10 billion on illegal. No commission, no studies, no lineage requirement. But when it comes to the people whose ancestors built this country, suddenly everyone wants to claim make our claim unconstitutional.
It seems in this country that everyone gets reparations except black people, okay? Reparations for thee, not for me. When it comes to Japanese, yeah, sure, absolutely, 100%. When it comes to Jews, yeah, sure, absolutely, 100%. We're gonna add a little extra on top of that. When it comes to, who else has gotten? White people, right? Remember Trump talking about we're going to give reparations, okay, to the CRT and the DII that has hurt the people? Sure, absolutely. We know we got white people, 100%. When it comes to black people, yeah, no, sorry. You're going to have to figure out what you want to do, figure out some forms. How much y'all want, actually? Who wants it? Okay, which one do y'all want it, all right? You guys are going to waste it, all right? You guys are going to spend it on Nikes and, like, Lincoln Navigators. Just no, absolutely no. And change. You guys love change for some reason. I find that to be very interesting, that it's always questions when it's like, well, the group of people who deserve it the most, all right? We were enslaved longer than the Jews. More harm was done to us than any, I guess, white people currently under DEI, even though they're the ones that hold the executive positions in said DEI. And surely of the Japanese, they were just put in camps. No greater than what's going on right now with illegals. Damn. But when it comes to us, We have to go jump through mountains, go through hoops, have 6 fingers, all right? That's the type of nonsense that they have. And speaking of nonsense, we now have New Mexico. Now, New Mexico, the descendants there, the people there are going to get reparations. That's correct. That nasty R word that keeps coming around. And that's due to a bomb that, the government blew off and, radiation happened to contaminate the soil. People were getting harmed and, dying of cancer, dying of this.
This is the first time we've ever had any kind of acknowledgement of our sacrifice and suffering as a result of being overexposed to radiation.
Finally righting a wrong 80 years after the world changed.
And eventually, after 80 years, they are now getting reparations. Now, one thing I was thinking of is like, okay, how much are you really going to give these people right now in 2025? And I go and check, and they're giving them $100K.
Come on now, dog.
People who live in the communities around this area, and many of them will be able to apply for this compensation from the federal government, $100,000 for people who meet certain qualifications. The descendants of people who've already died in this area will be able to apply for some level of compensation as well.
Come on, man.
Now, ho, hoo, he, ha. Let me just say this. One of the issues that I think many Black Americans have is that we deserve more than $100K.
Wake up, nigga.
And just so we're clear, it's the descendants as well who are going to get something off the top, all right? The descendants of the people who are harmed. Because I know one of the talking points that the racists love to bring up, well, you were never a slave, and I was never a slave owner. Why do you get reparations? Well, it's kind of the same.
Black Americans do not deserve reparations. That's actually false. We're the only group in America that has not been repaid after centuries of legal theft. Enslaved people built this economy basically for free. Well, actually, yeah, for free. After slavery, new laws was built to keep stealing. Black families were denied land. They were redlined out of housing. They were shut out of the GI Bill and loans that actually helped white families build wealth. And let's not say it's impossible, because America has paid reparations to the Japanese Americans and also the Native Americans. Yeah, we can argue whether it was enough or not, but that's besides the point. The point is, America knows how to pay. It's just who they choose to pay. So the question isn't whether can we afford reparations. The question is, why does America keep stalling to pay the debt that is owed to descendants of slavery? Why is that? Can y'all let me know?
And I want to remind you too that had Black Americans received reparations, and had we learned from the atrocities committed by the American government and plainly white Americans, okay, what is going on today would not be going on. I'm certain there would be some other drama, but the reality is, in the scenario that we receive reparations, in the scenario in which we actually learned from these atrocities, right, in the way that Germany did, let's say for example, the distribution of power and wealth in this country would look significantly different. And I'm willing to bet it probably would be a better version of America. Like that alternate universe of America in which we actually learned from what happened to Black American people, right? Even all the way up until this point, okay? Had we learned from that, this man wouldn't even be president, okay? This man was elected off of the strength of white supremacy. He's a felon. There is no possible way, okay, that the current chain of events would be happening had we handled things the right way. And when I say we, I don't mean us, I mean them. I mean y'all. That's who I'm talking about. And I think when we look at what's going on with immigrants, and specifically Black and brown immigrants, because white immigrants exist too, girl. European white immigrants also exist. They're not getting targeted, okay? When we look at what's happening with them, it is a direct show of a lack of knowledge and a lack of learning, and also the result of what happens when you keep the largest subgroup of America disenfranchised.
Brothers and sisters, let's start with these Mexican podcasters. These men sat down on camera and called for the organized protest against Black Americans receiving reparations. Not protests against poverty, not protests against inequality, against Black Americans specifically getting reparations. And the reason they gave? That Mexicans and the Native Americans have been going through hardship longer. The argument does not hold up. And the Black Americans in these clips broke down exactly why. Brothers and sisters, here's the reality. Mexicans who went to the US went voluntarily. That is not an insult. It is simply a fact. They were not stripped of their names, their language, their religion, and their family structure. They were not legally classified as property and bought and sold for generations. The experience of immigration, even difficult, undocumented, dangerous. Immigration is categorically different from chattel slavery. And one speaker among those speakers in those clips made one very important point in the entire video. If Mexicans, as mestizos, have a reparation claim, that claim is with the crown of Spain, not the United States of America. Spain colonized Mexico. Spain imposed the Spanish language, the Catholic religion, and the racial hierarchy that still exists in the Mexican society today. America does not owe mestizo Mexicans reparations. Now, on Native Americans, yes, the comparison is more nuanced. Native Americans have experienced tremendous suffering that is undeniable. But as several speakers pointed out, there is already framework of restorative justice for the Native Americans. Reservations, casino rights, tax exemptions, and direct government allocations. Is that enough? That is a separate debate. But the infrastructure of acknowledgement and compensation exists. For Black Americans, it does not. And every time it gets close, every time a city, a county, a state start seriously discussing about it, it gets blocked, diluted, or buried. And that brings us to the core question. Why? Because here is what is true and what nobody in opposition to reparation can honestly refute. Enslaved Black Americans built the foundation of the economy of America without even receiving a single penny of compensation. After emancipation, instead of the promised 40 acres, Black Americans were met with black codes, convict leasing, sharecropping, redlining, and the systemic destruction of the thriving Black communities. Y'all remember Tulsa's Green Street and being deliberately excluded from the GI Bill, the single greatest wealth building program in the American history, which handed an entire generation of white families a financial head start that kept compounding over decades. The wealth gap between Black and white communities in America is not accidental. Is the direct documented result of policy that was legal. And as one speaker in those clips said so powerfully, legal doesn't mean just. America has paid reparations before. Japanese Americans received reparations. Jewish Holocaust survivors and their families received reparations. Native American tribes have received and still receiving reparations. The United States government has demonstrated repeatedly that it understands the concept of compensating people for the state-sanctioned harm. The only group that keeps getting told to wait, to prove more, to be more patient is Black America. And finally, to the Mexican podcasters who want to organize protest. What Black Americans said in those clips is right. You cannot ask for solidarity when it benefits you. Black Americans have largely stayed out of immigration debate, not out of indifference, but out of reasonable understanding that it is not their fight. The least that can be expected is the same courtesy from these Mexicans. Black Americans don't need anybody's permission to pursue what is owed to them. And the reason why they are not being paid is not because America cannot afford it. Brothers and sisters, if you are proud to be a Black American, write down there in the comment section, I am proud to be a Black American, or drop a black fist emoji. And that was it for today. Mr. TA, your African brother, signing off.